If you have an interest in film cameras, announcement from Ricoh Pentax about them bringing out a new film camera. From watching the announcement, I believe there's been 3 parts already, and the latest one being part 3. It has been confirmed that the latest Pentax film camera, is going to be a modern half-frame point-and-shoot style camera. And while me and many other film photographers are really excited about the prospect of any new film cameras hitting the market, I must admit that I'm slightly disappointed. I'm a tiny bit disappointed there's not going to be a follow-up to the now very well regarded and well-known Pentax K1000. A copy of the Pentax K1000 in really good condition, and it's this one here with the 28mm lens, and I have to say it's probably one of the most enjoyable cameras to use. So this is going to be a mini review of the Pentax K1000, going back to basics, the enjoyment of shooting film and the enjoyment of shooting a fully mechanical film camera. So as a bit of history, the Pentax K1000 is one of Pentex's most well-known and most sold cameras. They've sold about 3 million units all over the world, and the beauty of the K1000 is its simplicity. It is very simple to use. It has all of the things you need to shoot and nothing else. You get a shutter dial, an ISO dial, a nice frame counter, and a hot shoe mount. That's about it. Obviously the lens is interchangeable, but the prism there is fixed, so you can't change it like you would on a Nikon F3, for example, or the F series. The K1000 is really satisfying to use. So here's a quick montage of the sounds made by the Pentax K1000. So like I mentioned before, one of the main draws of the Pentax is the ease of use. Simple to load, really easy and really reliable camera. There's something a bit of a nostalgia with this camera as well, because for many film shooters this was their first camera, or the camera they used to learn photography. At one point this has been one of the most recommended cameras for photography students when they're first learning how to use cameras, and you can really see why. It's super simple. You got your ISO selector, you got your shutter speed dial, the interchangeable lens, and the shutter. There's no timer, there's no self timer, there's no focal length preview. It's fully mechanical, and it can work without batteries. In fact, the only batteries that you need is a small SLR44 battery for the light meter, and even the light meter itself is super simple. It's just a needle in the viewfinder on the right hand side, which tells you if you're over or underexposed. In terms of reliability, they are super reliable, very solid mechanically, and the camera itself is also built like a brick, so it's very sturdy, and especially if you have the models made in Japan, so the early models from 1976 until 1978, I believe. They are super well built, and they usually carry the Ricoh logo on the prism, and they also have the Asahi Pentax writing on the prism. On the rear of the camera there is an engraving saying, if you can see, but it says Asahi Optco, which is Asahi optical company. As far as the lenses go, the K1000 uses the PK mount, which has a large variety of lenses available in all sorts of focal lengths and at affordable prices. So it really is a very versatile lens mount. So going back to the announcement by Ricoh about the half-frame camera, I would say I'd be super excited if they would release a follow-up to the K1000, just because it would be great to have an actual SLR a modern SLR that shoots film, because we've already had the Kodak half-frame H35 which recently came out, and on the rangefinder side we've had the revival of the Leica M6. So if Pentax released the follow-up to the original K1000, it would really help fill that niche, which I think is missing in the current film camera market. I mean, if you think about the possibility of using newer lenses, newer glass for a modern SLR, you would also be able to have it'd be great to have a camera that wasn't built in the 70s, 80s, 90s to actually have something that has modern electronics and modern light meters which are accurate and not as prone to failing. It will also be great to be able to offer a budget-friendly but solid film camera, which is what's needed for people like learning how to shoot film or learning how to trying to get into photography. I mean, the same reasons why Pentax or Ricoh should release a new K1000 are the same problems with the old Pentax. The main point of failure for these cameras tends to be the light meter. All the electronics do tend to wear out over time. So for the Pentax K1000, the light meter tends to be fairly problematic. So having a new camera with brand new electronics for the light meter and to make it more accurate and more reliable would be great. The ergonomics of the Pentax K1000 not great. It is kind of built like a brick. It could use with a better, more ergonomic grip, and it is fairly heavy for a film SLR. So it would be nice to have something a bit more easy to carry around. Other things, the shutter speed goes only up to 1/1000th of a second, which is not a huge problem, but it'd be nice to offer maybe something a bit more, like 1 to 2000. And there's no self-timer as well, so if you want to do self-portraits or selfies, you won't be able to do that with the old K1000, so that'll be a nice feature to have. So to wrap this up, while I am cautiously optimistic about Pentax releasing a new analog camera in the next year or two, really hope that the project is successful, so that Ricoh, the company, will have more funds to research and develop and hopefully bring us the new Pentax K1000, because I think every good series deserves a sequel. Along with the new SLR, will also be great to have some new lenses, faster lenses. I mean, the Pentax PK mount has plenty of options to use vintage glass, so it's not a huge concern, but yeah, it'd just be a nice to have. So I hope you enjoyed this video, and I hope you got something out of it. Even if you don't get a follow-up, I still do recommend that you would check out the K1000 if you can find one in good condition and working light meter. It is really nice camera to use. Super enjoyable camera to use, and really puts you into the mood and to the zone of shooting and just having a good time. So yeah, thanks for following along with me on my photography journey, and see you in the next video.